want to start with our outrage of the week. There's an 81-year-old woman in jail in Florida for feeding birds. I don't even know if she was set up, but listen to this story. It's from We Are Change. This is probably the first, last, and only time you'll ever hear me quote those people. But it says, that's right, an elderly woman violated her probation by leaving breadcrumbs out in her yard for crows and will remain behind bars. 81-year-old Mary Musselman was first arrested last month for feeding bears in her backyard. Actually, she wasn't feeding the bears. She was feeding the little woodland critters, and the bears found their way there. Anyhow, one of the bears had to be euthanized over it because Fish and Wildlife Services said the bears might learn not to be afraid of people anymore and then get aggressive. The judge in the case warned Musselman not to feed any more wild animals of any kind. A judge gave her probation at the time and made it clear, do it again and you go to jail. She did. She was arrested in January, and the case ignited controversy when Musselman was held without bond. Apparently, where it really got serious is when officers recently went by to check on her home, as they reportedly did over and over, sounds like she's being harassed, and found breadcrumbs in her yard one day. Her attorney, William Fletcher, told Fox 13 that the officers issued a new arrest warrant after checking on her home and seeing that she was leaving bread out for the crows. That violates her court order not to feed any wild animals. Yep, an elderly lady was caught leaving out pieces of stale bread for the birds. It's a clear violation of her probation not to feed the animals, even birds, apparently. So, I mean, well, really, what's this, an Alfred Hitchcock movie? Anyhow, she was arrested and put back in jail. Her attorney has argued that
it has to do with welfare and food stamps. I mean, there's signs everywhere. Do not feed the wildlife. They don't want them to become dependent.
Well,
they're dependent on the system of someone feeding them. So it's kind of like welfare. You don't want wildlife to end up with a food stamp card.
Yeah, well, it says her attorney argued that his client is mentally ill and suffering from Alzheimer's and dementia. I know it was. I'm sorry. Yep, don't feed the animals. They could become dependent, and then let's just give them all food stamps. They definitely become dependent. I got it. Anyhow, the lawyer says that the woman has dementia and should be allowed to live with her brother under supervision. The judge instead ordered that Musselman remain in jail until she receives a more thorough mental evaluation. So they're going to keep this 81-year-old woman in jail for leaving breadcrumbs out. It wasn't like she was leaving out picnic baskets for bears. And the bears have been a blight on that, and I've looked into it. The bears have been a blight on that neighborhood long before this woman was feeding her critters. All right, she was feeding squirrels and birds, and the bears came and raided the food things and stuff. So they said that a bear had to be euthanized because of this woman. That's not necessarily true. Other people have had their trash barrels raided and stuff, and the whole neighborhood has to have locked trash cans. So this woman isn't bringing the bears. The bears were there. But now you got an 81-year-old woman with Alzheimer's sitting in jail. Are you kidding me? Was she a threat to society or something?
I guess so.
You know, there's drug dealers and murderers and bankers that don't go to jail.
She did not do what the dead government told her to do. She didn't mind them.
Yeah, well, she's got dementia. She probably doesn't even remember she was ever in court. Never mind what the thing said. You know, but 81 years old, leave the woman alone. I mean, isn't there something better? And who knows if she might not even know if she put those breadcrumbs out. Could be a cop just busting her, her chops. Or one of the neighbors. You know, the neighbor could be throwing stuff in the yard just to get the chick in trouble. Think it's funny. It's not funny. Anyhow, I think that maybe we should have a look into this. All right.